So good evening, welcome to the Donny Chain Gang with me, Matt Payne. We are going to be bringing you all of the action live here on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, and we've got lots of great action to come, I'm sure. We are on the third, yes, three Donny Chain Gangs in 1 week, and we had a fantastic, really well behaved and really well ordered chain gang that went up over Box Hill 3 times, finishing on the third ascent of the summit on Tuesday. Really good for everybody to keep together. Thank you so much, everybody. Yesterday, Women's Wednesdays on the Donny Chain Gang. It was another really well ordered ride. Some fantastic teamwork going back. Our stronger riders going back and grabbing riders and pulling them up to the front. And that's what we want to see on the Chain Gang. Everybody helping each other. And of course, tonight, well, we've got a very special guest due to join us. Fingers crossed all of the tech works and he goes in onto the ride. However, our yellow beacon is our usual open yellow beacon. It is the one and only Russ Downing. So let's head across first of all to Russ and just check out how he's getting on. Hi Russ, how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. I'm just trying to work out what it says on your hat.
It's a love of mud, mate. It's a definite love of mud. I'm missing some mud. I think we need to have another muddy Donny Chain Gang because we're all stuck in virtual world at the moment rather than getting out and actually doing some real riding.
I'm sure we'll give it a few weeks and we'll be back there. You know, get some dust in his eyes and everything, and so you can get some mud on your cap, like.
Definitely, I've got to keep changing them. The studio stays the same, but the hats do vary at least.
You just turn around and pull one off the peg on behind you, like.
Pretty much, yeah. There is a bit of a selection. Always happy for more caps. Proper cyclists have caps, you know, proper racing caps. They fit well underneath a helmet. You know that. You're old enough. And you're old enough to have ridden with what is potentially going to be one of our best guests yet.
Yeah, you know, we've got... I keep forgetting to call him a sir, you know, go back such a long way. And yes, got Sir Chris Hoy, and yeah, just amazing. Lots of words with he's actually, you know, he's been communicating. He's been watching the DCG. It looks great, you know. And he said, I'll come, but only on a flat circuit. So I messaged him, I think Tuesday. London, Greater London, 42k flat, fancy it. And he said, yeah. And I was like, wow, no chapeau, you know, you see. Just get bombarded, you know, all the time. Can you do this? Can you do that? To be on the DCG is, yeah, it's great. You know, icing on the cake for the last year's hard work, really.
Yeah, definitely. We're nearly at a year. We're certainly over a year if you include all of the test runs we did together on the Downing Cycling club runs. And good to top it off pretty much with Sir Chris Hoy. And as our viewers can see on the screen in front of them, professional cyclist, we all know that. Greatest British Olympian of all time. Well, maybe Sarah Story might have an argument about that, but I'll let her argue with Chris. They've been teammates together. We all know he now fulfills those competitive urges by driving and racing the car, but I'm not sure about the next one. Secret collector of black bin bags. What's that all about?
Oh, yeah. Now there is some good stories. GB years, you know, it was always around when Phoenix Nights was on, and we used to sit in numerous rooms just watching that. You know, it's like, come and get the black bin bags. So, you know, if it's after some Chris, I think they're on offer till December. So, yeah, go and get some, like. And yeah, we used to have so much fun. You know, Chris was a great character on off the bike, and hopefully they'll join in the banter tonight and have a rip up with us.
Yep, we're just hoping all the tech works. He makes it to the line on time, and it's going to be very interesting to see how he gets on. I know he was out doing a very long ride in the Ride for Doddy, and I know you were out with him. But on that, a few people are trying to stick it to Chris. He's got nothing left to prove. You're not going to win his affections by ripping it up.
No, definitely. You know, he was on that. He was, I think he was riding on those 2 weekends on he ride. He was at 2.5 watts per kilo, and then he did the same as me. He just let everyone go. He said, 10 minutes to go and do what you want, you know, rip it up. So Chris will be fine. I think if you fancy turning the screw, I just checked his drift activities the last few days, and he's squeezing out some little sessions and, you know, sprint sessions in there just to keep himself sharp. So Thinking, known all along he was going to come and ride this ride, but I'll show that I'm keen.
Well, we'll see how he gets on. As per usual, we have a plan that we intend to stick to. Famous last words. Which for Greater London Flat is a plan known by most. We've got a 5.7k lead in, which we're going to do at about 2 watts per kilo. Everybody knows that. Then we've got 3 laps round, and at some point we're going to see what is normally a go.
Yeah, I think some clowns changed and said, "Hoi, hoi, hoi." So look out for the change for the evening, guys. It won't be a go. It's probably going to take you 5 minutes to write that, with those extra few letters in there, like. But should be fun, and yeah. Hopefully, Chris is not like smashing off the front at that point.
Well, we won't hesitate to call him a muppet if he does, because we're very good at that. It's one of the few things we actually can do probably better than Chris, because he is obviously such a class act. Great rider. I've had the pleasure of meeting him on a number of occasions, and he's always been an absolute gent, as well as a lot of fun. So we'll see if he manages to handle the chain gang, and the chain gang can handle Chris out on the course. Now, Russ, we've got one of our favourite courses. Anything that people need to do if they do get dropped by the main group? Any plans in what they need to do? Give them an idea.
Yeah, if you get dropped, there's always going to be someone behind you. I think on this, these little groups form. We have got a red beacon, and every red beacon is like the broom wagon. And then every week on the red beacon, there's people who are coming on the gang. They don't want to squeeze it. They don't want to press on. They want to help out at the back. So, you're never going to be on your own. So if you're feeling the pace, sit up, look on your map, see where there's some blobs and dots around you, and go and find them, and then they'll get you to the finish.
Yeah, and as you say, the map will always show, if you zoom out on it, where the yellow beacon is and the red beacon. You've just got to be zoomed out enough. If you are trying to stay with the yellow, please, guys, remember, you signed up on the line. It says you've agreed to stay with or behind the yellow beacon, so you need to stay with Russ with that yellow beacon until the signal that it is flat out to the finish. The aim is to get as many people going as fast as possible by that point. The longer you mess about, the longer it is till the go, and we will see where that is. So, Russ, I'm going to let you go with a couple of minutes to go. We'll let you give the instructions to the gang. So, fantastic stuff, Russ, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up maybe part way around the round. We'll see.
Yeah, can you have your chat on tonight, Matt, so you can actually see the go, so the riders don't drop me and I look like a clown?
I can't promise that one, mate. Who knows what will happen with all the tech in here? It might all just go up in a pile of smoke at the moment. It's certainly heating up well. I've had the room cooled specially just so that it doesn't overheat. So let's see what happens. So thanks very much to Russ. And we're not joking about cooling it down in here. There are a multitude of screens on the go. We have 5 screens in total. We have 3 main PCs. So we also have the feed as well. And we run the Discord channel as everything comes out of this one studio. We've minimised the amount of soundproofing that we put in, just simply so that we don't have to cool it down too much before we get going. Enough about the studio. Where's our riders going? Well, let's show you what is in store for our riders today, because there are some fantastic little roads around London. We're going to be on some very familiar roads to riders on the Donning Chain Gang. We're going out. It's 42k in total. We lead in for 5.7. That's the red section on your map. And then once we hit the mall, we go through the green sprint. That's a red banner in the game. Down the mall, up Constitution Hill, a straight U, then down round by the river, going clockwise round. From that clockwise section round, we then pull up towards the Serpentine and Hyde Park before doing a right and left turn down in and through towards Trafalgar Square and back in again. The circuit is 11.6k long. It finishes at the red banner on the mall, and 3 laps of that plus the leading is 40.5, which leaves us a nice warm down of 1.5k. We always put that warm down in, and that is basically because this is a ride where we are looking for you to be able to improve your FTP, get some PBs, to make sure that the guys are out and riding and getting the best from it. Now, It looks really flat on that profile, courtesy of Zwift Insider. And remember, Zwift Insider, your main place to get help if you need help. Let's show you the profile whilst the riders get themselves all sorted out on the way out from the pens. This is the VeloViewer profile, and this is the critical thing you need to bear in mind. Our riders come into the circuit. They drop down through the mall to the junction where there's a three-way join. They then go up to the dead end, round the turn, and then just after 1k drop down, round and take the right turn past the wedding cake outside Buckingham Palace into Parliament Square. Then the long D shape, the long capital D shape around the bottom. That section run the bottom, that is along the riverside, nice and flat. But then you can see it pulls uphill all the way to the 8k point. At that point, from 8k down to 9 kilometers, that is the critical part where it ramps and the speed will accelerate. It's going to get really, really busy and fast on that section. Whether you like it or not, it gets quick. We then climb up to the high point at 10k. They are the 2k most critical points on the course before you drop down 11k and back through the start. 3 laps of that, and we finish on the mall. And make sure you get yourselves onto VeloViewer to see what's happening. Right, let's drop in on the ride. Remember, we'll be featuring from the front of the ride, and the front of the ride is where Russ, the yellow beacon, is, right the way through to the red at the back. Our riders should be starting to blob together as one mass of riders. Any Muppets off the front are going to get abused as per normal. Remember that you're only going to see 100 riders on the screen, even though there's nearly 400 riders in on the course at the moment. So let's drop in and see where they are. It's certainly looking like it's busy out there. Our red beacon is Neil, our yellow beacon is Russ. Remember, the finish coming at about 40.5k, and at the moment our riders should be all the way around Russ, our yellow beacon, and we're going to drop straight in on the man himself, because we are going to drop in live with Chris Hoy, Sir Chris Hoy, here on the ride in his rainbow stripes, so you're going to get a good idea who you're looking out for on the way through. So you're here with me, Matt Payne, here live on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel, and this is Chris Hoy just weaving his way through the bunch, doing a very nice move, just akin to when we've seen him out on the track. And Chris knows the score. Good to have you with us, Chris. And Chris, of course, one of the real true heroes of the sport. Lots of people very, very in awe of this man, but I can tell you I've had the pleasure of meeting Chris in real life a few times, and whether that was at the side of the track just working on events, or whether it was in the changing rooms in the velodrome, or whether it was out and about as he was meeting people, he is an absolutely lovely guy to meet and to talk to, and great to see him still riding the bike. He's still just as sharp, he's almost as quick apparently these days, and we're soon going to find out. So the aim today is stick by yellow as long as we can, and remember, this is the man you want to get your picture with. Quick, get that screenshot in as Chris comes past, and Chris at the moment just ticking along at 120 watts, 73 beats per minute. Unfortunately, we don't know just how hard he's working because he's not put his heart rate monitor linked in. Good skills, that man. So remember, stay around the yellow beacon, don't poke the bear. The pace will stay nice and steady. We'll be focusing on our riders out and around the circuit, but it is critical, guys. Remember, make sure that you keep your eyes on where that yellow beacon is as we head in here in London, in towards the town centre, heading in towards the historic part of London itself. And as you can see, Chris just rolling along in that yellow beacon group, and that is where we're going to be focusing our attentions all the way through from there to the back. Now remember, we've got Neil at the back from the Skeleton driving the red party bus, and that party bus is the Red Beacon Group. It has turned into a little chain gang within a chain gang these days, and that's quite simply because our riders know that it's a good way to jump on the chain gang and to get yourselves out and get in a nice steady ride. Now the Red Beacon rolls up somewhere around about 2 to 2.5 watts per kilo. The aim is not to drop too many people and to carry as many people around in a group towards the finish. And Neil is a very experienced chain gang rider, and we're going to try and jump in with Neil very shortly. At the moment, everybody looks like they're behaving up at the front, and we're going to have a little look. Neil, at the moment, about 37 seconds. Let's have a little bit of a look. Looks like Neil not on his own back here. In fact, it looks like there is a Stellaton mob of riders. If you don't know what the Stellaton are, if you need to ask, you can't afford to join. Not strictly true, but just buy them a pint of Stella and they'll be able to tell you exactly what they're up to. So, the red beacon is here, Neil in here, and it looks like a full gang of Stellaton riders, and they are picking people up already. And I think that could well be James Allen who's dropping in with the mob. Foxy are just picking this group up. I know there is a large number of riders who have raced on Tuesday, who rode the Chain Gang Tuesday, who were riding on the women's Chain Gang yesterday, and Foxy's definitely one of them. And Foxy now jumping in with the red, not able to resist the chance to go out and join the start line with Chris Hoy, and already this red beacon group are picking up riders. I think that is likely to be Ellis, who's just been pulled into the fold here by our red beacon, and Ellis now in the group, and it's currently about 12 seconds to the next duo of riders. And it looks to me like that is Sonia Inslee. It is indeed. So Sonia at the moment chasing Altoft, and Sonia Inslee from Bolsover and District making her way up to the riders in front. So Inslee just chasing on, and this looks like it's Altoft. It looks like our leader from last night, and that is Emma Payne, and this is Emma, our beacon, who has clearly decided that the gin and the biscuits and the beers on the bus are appealing. I'll say a big thank you for Emma for all of her work last night. A fantastic women's chain gang. Make sure you go back and watch all of the footage. It's all there on the Downing Cycling YouTube channel. Now, just in front is going to be Simon Wiley. Let's have a little look at Simon. Simon is in here and riding at 3.1 watts per kilo. Simon, of course, one of our very talented youngsters. And Simon at the moment just in front of Altoft, and I think he's going to be seeing the group behind coming up quickly. Not too far in front is Liam Calloway and the rest of the group. I think Forrester is the last rider in the group, but we've got to take a little bit of a time check of jumping across. And that's quite simply because it is going to be a bit of a gap, a bit like when you've got a map, an old-fashioned paper one. When you go from one map fold to another, it can jump about, and that's exactly what can happen on the screen here. So we do tend to wait a little bit of a while before we go across, and at the moment looks like Simon Wiley just making contact with that group. So Ian Taylor just saying he's just starting his sprint. There are plenty of people on the other side of the road, about a kilometre in front of Russ. So it looks sort of like the Muppet Show already in full force up at the front, and that's something we don't want to happen. So the studio's starting to heat up here. This group keeping a nice and smooth rolling along. Looks like Indy the Trail Dog join us in the studio as he's come down, decided that upstairs was far too boring. He wanted to come down and see how our superstars were getting on, and of course, as just rightly pointed out by Russ, there is a number of other riders in here that definitely count as superstars. Just in with Dean Downing at the moment. Dean, of course, the boss when it comes to Downing Cycling, and Dean in here, former national champion, and of course somebody who's been on the squad with Chris as well, and looking good at the moment. And Dean just ticking along, 107 beats per minute, so nice and smooth for Chris, nice and smooth for Russ, smooth for Dean, and of course we'll take a little bit of a look at Ty Wolfenden when we see him. He's out and riding, lots more pros out and in this group as well. We're just working our way through them. Good to see plenty of the riders who were out riding yesterday in with the group. Lots of members of the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. So if you are enjoying the rides, if you're enjoying the coverage, one thing that will help us is to join the DCG gang. The DCG gang is the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club. And basically it's how we cover the cost of actually getting this on, or help to cover the costs, and that is by our fantastic members of the DCG gang coming along, riding the rides, and more importantly supporting the gang. They donate And if you put a donation in for a month, you get a month's free membership. In that membership, we send you all of the links direct on the way through, and we always look to have the riders who are riding get those links directly, and that is by joining the gang. We send them to your inbox. There is always a description. There's a profile from Zwift, as well as the Velo Viewer course profile, links to all of those. Some fantastic discounts in there at the moment. Of course, still running is the Pretty Gritty discount, and Pretty Gritty, of course, giving it away that discount to our members right the way to the end of February. So don't worry if you want some of the kit. You can get yourselves online, join the gang now for February, and that will get you the discount all the way to the end of February. Lots of our members are taking advantage of that, as well as the ones from OTE, from the Grand Tour Coffee Company as well. And don't forget, of course, we've still got Struggle in there as well. All those discounts go direct to members of the DCG gang, the supporters club only, and it's just our way really of saying thank you very much for being a member and supporting us. One of the other things we have, of course, up for grabs that we mustn't forget to remember to tell you, put your teeth in, Matt, always a bonus, need more coffee, is that, of course, we have that fantastic jersey coming to you from Ben Swift. Ben Swift's National Champs jersey, his stripy jersey, and that is going to be up for grabs between the members of the DCG gang. Every month, you remember, gets you one entry into the draw. The draw will be pulled on the riders who are in the gang and have a membership by the 1st of March, and it'll be the 1st of March that we're pulling the draw based on those times. So if you have a month's membership, you get one entry in the draw. If you decide that you're going to join for March, February, maybe May, that gets you 3. If you join up to December and join the gang for a year, the maximum is 12 entries in there, and that draw for that unique jersey that we'll get framed and get to you, it's going to be in March. But remember, you've got to be in the gang by the end of February, and we're going to take that on the end of February. So make sure you go on there, get in the links, join the gang, and get in the draw for the jersey. Now, if you're looking at your map, if you look up at the top, as you can see, the front of the ride is down where the yellow beacon is. That's the front of the ride. Anybody further in front than the front group basically are off the front. If it was the UCI, they would knock the top off and they'll be DQ'd. We don't bother DQing them, we just ignore them. So if you are off the front, time to get yourselves back in the gang. It's not going to give you any advantage whatsoever. In fact, you're going to be ignored totally as per normal on the Donny Chain Gang. We're here for all of our riders, people who go off the front, ripping it up for everybody else. Never good. Now, so lots of questions going in on the chat for Chris. Chris in this group at the moment, and riding nice and smoothly. Nice Pinarello underneath Chris there, and Pinarello, of course, the sponsor that have looked after Russ all the while, and of course looking very, very good in that World Champs jersey, and quite rightly so. Chris looking really good here on the Chain Gang and rolling along, and so Chris is definitely doing a great job of staying in with our riders. Favourite as the pista is pepperoni, apparently. Good taste there, that's for sure. So Chris rolling along here. I'm sure lots of people getting a picture on the way through. Just alongside Chris is George Cooper. George, of course, one of our superstars. Right alongside Chris there. And George Cooper, of course, one of our youngsters who's regularly on the gang, and one of the people who knows exactly how to ride the gang. Helps the riders at the back, makes his way to the front, pulls the riders in, goes out the back, and then when the go happens, then he is the one of the riders that we know is going to be in at the kill, particularly if it goes uphill, because let's face it, he is one of the lightest riders on the gang. Lighter riders, of course, at a disadvantage when it gets quick. Not something I think Chris is likely to suffer from. on his way through, but George Cooper currently sitting in nicely in with this group, and I think at the moment he's probably got a bit of elastic tied around the handlebars for Chris. Maybe he's just towing Chris along. So looking good at the moment. The riders are well on the way down here. We're going to work our way back from this group, and we're going to try and catch ourselves a red beacon. Oh my goodness, look at this. This is what we want to see. A huge group of riders here on the Red Beacon group, already getting a real party bus, and this is what we want to see on the Chain Gang. It's here for everybody, and that is the aim. Emma Payne there giving away the secrets that we had pizza last night after the women's ride. That is very true. In our household there's no time for anyone to cook. Emma out riding and leading the rider and myself on the mic. It means that of course we don't have time to do boring things like cooking. Who wants to do that? Apart from Chris, who is of course a consummate cook as well. So the Red Beacon group around the side of the Houses of Parliament, the Palace of Westminster out to the left hand side. Out to the right hand side is Westminster Abbey, and at the moment our beacon just holding at the back of this group, keeping it all together. As they come down past the Palace of Westminster, you can see at the moment that group just starting to distance the trio at the back. I'm sure they'll all work together and come back together. It won't be long. Miss Cookie saying she's missed the group already. I'm not surprised to out riding regularly. Looks like this group of riders in here. Let's get up above these riders. We're now in the middle of the group. So we've got Dre in here, we've got Sonia Inslee in here, we've got Ian from Stellarton, Andres in here. I think Cameron Fraser in this group as well somewhere. So Cam Fraser in the pack as well. We said Emma's in there, James Allen's in the group, Finney's in here as well. It really is a packed bus in the party bus at the moment. I'm not sure how long that will stay like that, but we'll soon see. So let's take a look up the road, just in with none at the moment. And as we look down on this group, remember this is the pack that are holding together around our yellow beacon, and just in with none riding just around the sides of Russ and the gang, and it's certainly looking super smooth. Looks like Reese Wood in with the gang, hopefully not too far away from our yellow beacon. In fact, he's almost on his shoulder, so we may well see him coming past in a second. So looking good at the moment, just trying to keep a check on where our riders are, and looks like Matt Bennett is in the group, Darren Topless in here, Mason Hollyman in here, just keeping a lookout for riders who are part of the Donny Chain Gang, the DCG gang, and the supporters club. David Hopkinson in here, one of our regular riders on the Chain Gang. He's going to be in a GB strip, I would have thought, yep. Just tagging along nicely in that group and making the most of the draft in there, and that's exactly where you need to be. Now let's jump in with young McLeod here. This is Ewan McLeod, a man who used to have the best hair in the peloton. These days he's sporting some of the best legs in the peloton, riding for the Canyon DHB Sun God team, and of course one of the riders who are coached by Dean Downing, and a member of course of the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. Thanks for joining us, Ewan. And Ewan, of course, a rider that we know is going to be in towards the end. He's got the power, he's got the speed, and definitely being a professional rider and likely to be right in the mix. Now, just going to take a little bit of a look. It looks sort of like Mr. Grant in here, and Grant sat nicely in this group. So Mark Grant, another of our members of the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, just riding alongside Chris Hoy there, and Hoy just hovering around the back of the group like almost a second to last man in a line as you come into a Keir in a lot more draft here. Just take a spin round, and Grant in the middle of this pack are going to be coming through very quickly indeed. So this pack moving currently at about 42 kph, looking very, very good out there at the moment. So let's jump in with some more of our regulars. Gately in here, Looks pretty smooth. Looks like Davis in the group at the moment, and Davis just sitting in this pack here. Another of the regular riders that we know who is going to be very, very quick indeed, and a man who can be mixing it up at the finish, just rolling round with Chris here, just chewing fat on the way back through. Now let's take a little look. It looks like Mr. Cootie is in here. Cootie, of course, one of our members of the DCG gang, and Cootie just rolling along nicely in the pack, just alongside that stripy jersey of Chris Hoy. Don't forget, of course, we've got Ben Swift's stripy jersey, different stripes. It's the red, white and blue of the British champion, and that is the road champions jersey that's going to be heading out on to the backs or onto the wall of one of the members of the DCG gang, and they are going to be drawn, remember, based on anyone who's in the gang by the end of the month, so that's the critical time. So our riders are moving well at the moment here in London. Our helicopter just tracking Alistair Cootie on the way through here. Just drop in with Chris at the moment in this pack, and riding smoothly through with the rest of the riders. Our helicopter now up above. You can see that pack rolling around the yellow beacon. That's exactly what we want to see. So we're just keeping an eye on the riders at the moment. It looks like Chris with plenty of people managing to sit with him as we come up towards the top of the climb. A really good group forming around Chris and Russ at the moment. And as we make our way along past the side of Harris here, this group are very well packed together. Looks like all these riders want to be in the pack as they make their way through here. Meanwhile, the Red Beacon group at the back is working well together. The Red Beacon currently 2 minutes 56 seconds down on our leaders. And as we can see, Finney, Allen and co all in here. A really good group of riders. Fraser in here as well. Good to see Cam Fraser joining the party bus at the back, clearly after a little bit more of an easier ride. He's one of the riders we know, he's more than capable of be up at the front of the group, and at the moment just going back and helping out, and that's exactly what we want. Remember, this is a real community here on the Donny Chain Gang, the riders working together, the community on Facebook. Make sure you go on there and join that group, because the Facebook group, one of the key groups for our riders in terms of support, looking after each other. Plenty of banter, plenty of laughs on there, and of course these guys are working well. The Red Beacon here looking really, really good at the moment, and a nice group up there. Meanwhile, up at the front, up at the pointy end, where we see Sir Chris Hoy as well as, of course, Russ. I think the pace going up. We're just going to take a little bit of a run up the road, because I can see a few of our regular riders. We're going to jump in with the women's beacon, and I think they've currently got about 10 seconds on the group behind, and that is Emma Payne here in along with Andress and Ellis. And these guys are working well together, and lots of communication back there. Now Sonia Inslee is just up the road, and again these groups have broken up because there is a slight climb on the way up here. Meanwhile, a little bit further up, I think we can see Blythe from Stellaton chasing down Cookie at the moment. Cookie, I think, feeling the pace. Chris in with the group, we're watching them hit the numbers. It looks like Russ has called for 3, and people have just sort of gone for 4. Counting is an easy skill. I can do it, you can do it, we all can do it. We all know you're capable of it. Please, guys, try and do that. If you're in front of the beacon, you need to be behind or with the beacon. That's really easy. Now, Ball just seeing the group starting to fracture in front. Ball is here. He's got Grant just in front. Let's take a look and see if we can see Grant up the road. I think it's going to be not too far. There he is. So Grant at the moment at 2 seconds and in danger of coming back a little bit at the moment. So here we go. The easiest way, if you can't count, or even if you can, see that big yellow pillar in the sky? That's what you're aiming for. That's where we want to be around our beacon. Now, Hurst just being distanced a little bit here, and again, I think Mark just behind, and the group in front about 12 seconds in front. And if you remember that profile from Bellevue, we're coming up to the high point of the course, so we're coming from 9 to 10 to 11k, and this is the run up towards the top. This is the real key part, because what happens is that the group will accelerate up. At the moment, Sadler just taking a look at the back of the group, and it looks like it's Jones who's working hard to get into the back, and just see Alan Parsons in here and Craig Genther, both members of the DONNYCHAINGANG Supporters Club. Let's jump in with Alan. And Alan, of course, very experienced rider on and off road, and a man who we do know loves mud, as it says on my hat, and a very capable rider, competitive nationally as well. And I have to say, my right hand man if it comes to going out on course and looking at a cyclocross course, that is for sure. Craig Genther in here. Craig, of course, one of our regular red beacons, regularly takes up those duties, been on the DONNYCHAINGANG from the word go, and it looks to me like Craig is sitting nicely in with this group as they make their way along the straight, going to be coming into Trafalgar Square. So riders just coming in along the side of the National Art Gallery, and the column going to be appearing any second out to the left of the riders. But at the moment, Parsons sitting in with this group. So that's the National Art Gallery behind. You can just see the base of Nelson's column. And if we spin around this group, they're going to be heading down and into the mall, on to the straight and underneath the Admiralty Arch here on the DONNYCHAINGANG. Now remember, the times under here at the moment, we don't necessarily sprint for this. If you are, the way to do it is to go off the back of the group and come through the group to the yellow beacon. It's miles faster than trying to go off from the front. Let's get ourselves up in the air and just keep an eye on what's happening around Russ and in this group. And it looks like Russ keeping it nice and steady on his way through. So one or two people are taking advantage of that big pack coming from the back. It looks like using the pace of the group from the back coming towards the front, and look at the number of PBs on the way through there. That is an indication of just how many riders in this group are getting personal best times here on the DONNYCHAINGANG, and that is quite simply because the group are working together. Anyone would think Russ and I knew what we were doing. Little bit of experience between us one way or another. So great to see all of our riders on the way through here, and looks like Chris rolling along smoothly here in the group, currently kicking out just under 300 watts, 250 at the moment, as Hoy works his way along. And good to see, I think he's just alongside Anthony Kerrigan here. So Kerrigan, a rider who started out and has had one or two runs on the Chaingang, improving all the time. A rider who never made it onto the Chaingang, but he does share some similarities with Chris Hoy. Apparently, Anthony Kerrigan's thigh measurement is exactly the same as Chris Hoy's thighs. Not quite sure if Chris agrees with that. Oh, looks like we've got Indy Trail Dog coming down to say hello. Here he is. So, Indy, you're saying hello to Chris. Very good. So, our riders are down here, riding along. Anthony Kerrigan running smoothly, being watched here by Indy the Trail Dog, the dodgy paw, clearly having fun at the moment. rolling in with Kerrigan at the moment as we make our way down around the side of Buckingham Palace. You can see it in the distance, Kerrigan rolling in with this group nicely at the moment, and the pack all holding together here. This is what we want to see, big group around Russ. We're going to just work our way through. Could see Sean Ferrin in here, Matt Gilmore in here as well, Thomas Crapper in here. Looks like young Thomas in the group as well. Dean rolling around in here, Holmes in here, Antonio Dardoni in this group, looking sharp at the moment. Looks like Harrison Tacey in the group. Looks like Edwards in here as well. Looks like Street in the group. Street, I'm not sure why Street is actually riding today. Must be feeling very, very brave. Got plenty of power, this man. Will he have enough power to take on the rider in the front? He's got tired legs. We're watching these riders coming down. We're going to jump on with a rider I know well, and good to see that Emily Ashwood from the AWOL team has made it here. Fresh from work, Emily in and with us, and of course a national standard cyclocross and mountain bike rider, as well as out on the chain gang here and doing the business, rolling along and playing the game properly, sitting in behind Russ. So good to see Emily making it here into the chain gang. So Emily in the group. We're going to run through some more of our riders here as we run in towards Parliament Square. We're going to just run back a little bit through the group. We'll jump in with Chris as he makes his way along towards the tower here. So you can just see the tower clock here, the tower containing the Big Ben bell, being passed here by Chris Hoy, currently ticking out some very nice numbers, and plenty of riders sheltering in the wake of what must be one of our fastest cyclists ever. So 21k done. 19 or so k to go. 19.5 as they come in, looking at the moment like Chris sitting in this group. Plenty of people in and around Chris, and as we always say, we always ignore the people who have decided to go up the road. Meanwhile, behind Chris, you can see the pressure starting to go on, and the back of this pack just starting to feel it. Remember, the pace setter is Russ Downing. Russ Fonzie Downing, the bear, is the man who decides exactly how quick we go, when we go quick, when we go slow. And at the moment, as you can see, plenty of people feeling the pace here on the Donny Chain Gang. And as you can see, Chris just pushing on a little bit here. The what's going up as he moves his way up towards Russ, who's a little bit further up the road. We're going to roll our way back through this group. Now we're going to just drop it in with the red a little bit. We're just watching Mason. He's the rider just about to feel the squeeze as the gang starts to accelerate up. You can see it's a long string. I think there's going to be a second block of riders getting distance from yellow. The gaps are definitely starting to open up a little bit further up in front. So let's take a little bit of a look. Just going to watch these gaps at the moment, because this is where we can see a massive split occur, and the guys really do have to push on. So we're going to take a little bit of a dodge around the trees with the drone at the moment, and these riders all working hard to get back in. It looks like Hoy in the danger zone at the moment. Rini needs to push on. He's right up there, but this is where the gaps can go, and this would be a big group to come off the front group if it lets go. You can see everybody just trying to squeeze on those pedals. None it is who's squeezing the hardest, I think, trying to get onto Antonio Nadoni's wheel, but you can see it's going to be a little bit of a frantic scrabble now. This is where the gaps are starting to break, and it's only because we've got Russ here keeping the pace ticking along. Remember, the only man you need to stay near, the bit that you need to see, is that yellow beacon. If you see the beacon in front of you, make sure you don't let the gaps go. You've got to be on the wheels here. This group just about getting back in touch. We will go back to the red beacon as we promised, but it's going to be a little while. Just make sure this big split gets back together again here. But it looks as we're about to make the right-hand turn along the side of the river once again. It is just all back together. I'm just seeing Bryce Smithy in the group. He knows what to do. He's hung on the wheels of Russ Downing like it's super glue at the moment, joining them together because that's where you've got to be. But look at this group. It is fracturing. There are people who are feeling the pace behind our leaders at the moment. It looks like Tompkins are just starting to feel the pressure. And Mason are just sitting on the back now. Mason definitely has got the pace to get himself back in if he starts to get dropped. You see Rich Orrell just pushing on up in around Russ. Remember, Russ Downing is the place you need to be. Meanwhile, we're going to take a little bit of a drop back, and we are going to head across to our red beacon and the red beacon group. Let's see where we're at. So, nice group here. Look at this, proper Stellaton chain gang. The team have clearly come here with a mission, and that is tonight of all nights to jump together and to work. Foxy joining them as well, so Lisa Jane Lake in with the rest of the Stellaton gang. I think Emma are Beacon from the women's chain gang, the women's only Wednesdays in here, riding for the AO team, and day 3 in the chain gang, I think, and racing for Emma. And a lot of these guys are absolutely madness. But if, you know, that's what they want to do, let them do it. The whole point is, once you're behind that yellow until the go, you can do what you want. You can have a nice steady ride with the red. If that's a steady, I think for me at the moment, I'll be blowing chunks just to stay with that group. They're working really well. Meanwhile, it looks like Ellis and Finney in here. We're just in with Ellis. Looks like Andrew's just in front. He clearly didn't get the memo about the team kit out in orange. So let's move up a little bit further up the course. It looks like Miss Cookie has got a nice chain gang of 3 here. Looks like Sonia Inslee in the group in the black, Miss Cookie in the blue and white. And these 2 riders at the moment, I think it's going to be Dre that they're with. I know it says he's gap away, but I don't think that's going to be the case. He's definitely in there, even though it says 5 seconds time difference between them. So at the moment, Dre on the right hand side of the group, the left hand side of your screen, then Inslee sandwiched in the middle, and then Cookie in with the group. Rourke just in front, and Rourke is going to see them coming. Here they come. They are coming past pretty fast. Remember, watch your screens, guys, because you're going to see them coming through. You've got to kick as they come through. Now the next target in this trio sights is going to be Ball. Ball's going to feel them barreling down there, absolutely moving these 3 at the moment. So apparently Anders is the road captain of the Stellaton gang, so he gets special dispensation for not bothering to wear the right kit. Me, I'd make him pay a pint of Stella, or maybe a crate. Just in front of that group, it is going to be Marley and Bartlett. Robin Bartlett here, another of our regular chain gang members, a member of the DCG gang. And Bartlett sitting in here in his traditional lamprey-inspired pink and blue kit. He's got Marley for company. Just in front is going to be Sadler. So Sadler just a little bit further up the road and looking good at the moment. He's got Mark Grant, another of our members of the DCG gang, and Mark riding well. He's going to be feeling those groups starting to come up behind pretty quickly. Remember, we're at 23k at the moment. Then Hurst is just in front here, so we've got Hurst, and Hurst has company with Thompson behind. So Thompson in the blue here, this duo of riders chasing up Perpetual Red Beacon. That's Martin Bolt. Martin Bolt giving up those duties once we started to get the road going. Martin has done more Red Beacon duties than Chris Hoyer's won Olympic medals, and that is saying something. Next up, we're going to see James in here, and James in with what is going to be a big group of riders coming through here. James, another of our regular riders. Looks like Holmes just in front. Billings at the moment, just working his way up here. Then it's going to be Beatty. So Beatty, another of our regular riders, a winner of plenty of prizes on the Donny Chain Gang. And then we've got Lone Rider with Tompkins and Kev. Let's go a little bit further up, because this is going to be a Rafferty. Rafferty's got Anthony Kerrigan in here, so Kerrigan chasing Rob Carling. Rob Carling in just at the back of what is a big group of riders, and you can see here this group just being distanced by the riders in front. I think in this group we have Kai Hurst in here, we've got Kingston in here, I think Bryce Smithy is in here. Let's jump in with Brian if we can. Easier said than done with this group. Is moving about so fast. Here we are in with Brian Smith, the Eurosport commentator. Where's Brian's traditional grey locks in here? Silver Fox himself, Bryce Smithy, the Eurosport commentator, former national champion, on his way in. But we need to make our way up the road, because you can see this group is starting to get very fractured indeed, and I can't imagine it's going to be very long before we see the pedal going to the metal here as they roll their way up underneath the underpass. I can't imagine that Russ is going to want this to go much further before thinning out the herd a little bit. Never mind herd immunity, we want to get rid of some of the herd here, and we're going to jump in with him. It's going to be possible, I promise you. Look how fast this pack is moving. No matter how fast I move this mouse about, we're not going to get him. Here we go, and it's hoi 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 hoi, go 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 go. Here is time to hit the throttle, boys and girls. Ladies and gents, welcome to the Donny Chain Gang. It ain't easy. It's the Donny Chain Gang, and Ross is motoring his way up. Remember, we count it from the front of this pack, and look at the pace that Russ is going. It looks to me like Radcliffe is trying to chase on to the back of this, one of our regular fast men. Radcliffe in the red and white and just going alongside Russ there. This is the fast group as they come up towards the corner, and it looks like Sandy Smith is pushing on now. Joey Walker in this group. Joey, of course, national crit champ. He knows how to ride one of these. We are going to have just over one lap of the 11.6k circuit to go, because we're on this fast rundown, and this is when it gets really quick. We'll try and get back to see whether Chris has made it into the group in a moment, but as you can see, these riders are absolutely hammering along here. So a real who's who. John Wild in here doing the business, once again pushing it on now. Sandy Smith back on the chain gang after a bad dose of COVID, it has to be said, and he's in the mix. But look at this, Mason Holliman, a man who was right up at the front on the hills pushing on, was Chris Hilbert in here. Hendricks is in here now. Hilbert from Pine Cycles is one of the younger riders. He's a very quick rider. Watch out for Hilbert. He can be prickly if nudged. If you push him the wrong way, he's going to get hold of you and stab you in the hand. But at the moment it's Tacey, I think, who is going to be leading them out as this group goes through. Look at that, Sash is the front of the group we're looking for, and it's Sawyer and Smith who are on the way through. These are leaders on the way into the straight. This is the group that was with the yellow beacon as they came onto the straight here, and we're seeing McNamara now go up onto the front. Kieran Smith doing a great ride here. He's in with the group, and we know Kieran Smith can lead this out, but at the moment it's Hannay who's on the front, the Canyon rider. Now Smith going down the side here. Can Smith push on through? There's going to be one or two people going for the fastest sprint time. Billy Manome's held it, but it's gone. It's been smashed to pieces, and it looks to me like Riley has come through and annihilated that time amongst others, because there's a lot of riders going through that. And look at the volume of a personal best time coming from this group as they came through time and time again. This is why the Donny Chain Gang is so quick, because we build the pace steadily. Our riders get to faster and faster, better and better PBs as they make the way through. Look at the pack here. Ty Wolfenden on his way after that injury in his 24-hour ride for charity. Ty Wolfenden in the grey, sitting second wheel at the moment. He is absolutely motoring, and the multiple-time World Speedway champion is in here, showing us just why he's quick on two wheels. So let's keep our eye on these riders at the moment. We're just watching Kieran Smith move his way up towards the front here, and it's Smith now on the front. Now Smith is a fast rider. He's won before. He's taken first spot from the Yellow Beacon group last year. Can he do it this year? We gotta hope so. He's definitely one of our fastest riders and brightest hopes, and we always do say to take this on, to be up near the front, you are either have been a pro, should have been a pro, might be a pro, or you're cheating. One or the other. These guys, no cheating in these guys. They know they are up against the best in the country. So here we go. Looking really good. And keeping our eye. So Simon Wiley in this pack, this little group of 3 on the front, pushing on. Kieran Smith trying to close them down. It's Mason Holliman on the front in the pink there, who is opening the gap on the rest of these riders. And you can see behind, look at the gap starting to open as we go alongside Buckingham Palace. It is fractured. The pace is really high. We're already now seeing it roll off a little bit as they go in. But it's Mason Holliman with 5 riders for company. Behind him, though, the gaps are being closed down. It looks to me like Hilbert, Sawyer, all working hard to get this gap close to nothing. As these riders up near the front are continuing to push on here. And I think it's going to be Sawyer who is the man who's keeping that pace high. He's not letting the pace go off. In the orange there, Sawyer's got Simon McNamara for company. Sandy Smith, eternal Sandy Smith on the front. The man never knows when to give up, this man. He's absolutely nailing it. Don't you be getting carried away and pushing your recovery back, young man. So Sandy Smith in this group. We've got Airedale in here, Gilmore in here, Holliman in here. This is a really select group, and as you can see, the groups behind being distanced. We can see on the time gaps that is opening right up about at the moment. The lead group here on the Donny Chain Gang. Reese Wood in here for the Canyon DHB Sun God squad. Reese, of course, a member of the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. Great to have you in, Reese, and of course coached by Downing Cycling. The coached riders are regularly out on the chain gang using it as part of their workout, and at the moment our riders now coming alongside the Houses of Parliament, absolutely motoring here, and you can see that pace is incredibly quick. So as our helicopter rolls up over the top of this group, looks like Hanny has jumped back onto the front, looking to open up a little bit of a gap. And at the moment it is Tyler Hanny who's stretching it again. He's not content to leave this as one group. There is a second pack in danger of joining behind our yellow beacon here. And at the moment, that front group not going quick enough for Hanny. Hanny putting a move in here, riding that Zwift concept bike here in London on the Donny Chain Gang as we go along past the bridges, long past Vauxhall Bridge at the moment. You can see Hanny looking very smooth here. 90 revs a minute almost, 165 beats a minute, 400 watts. This is some serious power coming out from this rider. Behind, though, they are closing this down, and that is making things very interesting indeed, because as they keep on pushing on here, they are going to be making the way along the side of the river, and Sandy Smith wants to get in the grey, pushing the gaps, and this leading group is very quick indeed. The riders behind looking to try and join. You can see that big group really is fracturing behind. Looks like Ryan Williams in this group. So Wes Williams always in the mix here, in the blue, in that GBR, in the GB kit. Ryan Williams, one of the fast men, regularly on the chain gang and looking like he means business. Dan Coleman in here, another of the really aggressive riders. If we had a combativity award, this man would have won it time and time again. Regularly known to attack off the front, regularly known to put the pressure on and really put the hurt in as we go up the hills, particularly on some of our hillier rides. But at the moment, this group just easing a little bit. I think the pace having come off, you can just see them moving all the way across the road here. So let's see who's going to push it on now. We're just riding in with Radcliffe, one of our really quick riders who we know is going to be taking it out if left to his own devices. But look at this, Reese Wood sitting comfortably in here, rolling along. That heart rate not that high for Reese, 178 beats per minute. We've seen it higher than that, that is for sure. Of question is he going to need to do that as he goes through? Sawyer going back onto the front again. Let's roll around. And Richardson just pushing on the shoulder here. Joey Walker wanted to keep the pace high as well. Joey in there with the flat cap on. Really easy to distinguish as Joey goes through. Let's have a little look as this pack rolls its way in and through London along the side of the river here. And it looks to me like this is going to be the selection. It looks like Matlock's in here, the rider in the Union Jack-esque strip out on the back. We'll try and get him into camera shot for you. So the rider on the back here, that is Matlock. But all these riders know that they've made the initial selection. Are they going to be in at the kill, in at the finish, in at the pointy end? Well, we're going to see. So I think Russ just enjoyed to sit in the wheels. The messages pinging in from Russ. Not quite sure how Russ manages to type. If you want to know, don't forget, of course, we do have some of the footage of Russ in the early days trying to juggle everything. Unfortunately now Russ gets to focus on the ride and do what he does best, which is controlling the Donny Chain Gang and keeping this group together. And I've got to say, the Beacon's job is one I certainly will want. You've got to be a patient man, and you've got to be able to type and ride at the same time. Definite multitasking, superstar skills to be able to do that. So these riders are moving along nice and smooth. Sawyer sitting currently third, fourth wheel. Mason Holliman now pushing on to the front of the group here, and it looks like Holliman not content, not liking this easing of pace on his way through here. He puts in a big kick. I just saw 10 plus watts per kilo coming from Holliman. He's got a little bit of a gap. He's got Burnett with him from Scar, so it looks like Burnett is with him, and is Burnett going to be able to hold him? Sandy Smith again. What is this man on at the moment? He's absolutely flying. I'll tell you something, this is one heck of a recovery from him. Sawyer coming across, he saw the danger, didn't want to let that guy go. Look at this Dryburgh coming across. He's the rider with the ride on the thumbs up over his head at the moment, and Dryburgh trying to make contact. It's going to leave McNamara. The group is at 2 seconds behind them. So we're on this climb away from the river. We've got the underpass with that key trigger point for an attack to climb out of the underpass at Hyde Park Corner. This group have gone early as we make our way around these turns, and they've got the gap on the riders behind them. Can they keep them away? Harrison Tacey now chasing, putting the pressure on behind. Radcliffe in this group as well. Tacey jumps back on the front. We're just in with McNamara. He's the rider in the dark blue with the white band across his shoulder, and you can see that group in front. Meanwhile, Sawyer is pushing on. Look at this. You can just see as these riders make their way along here, Sawyer is continuing to increase the pace at the front, and these riders have to respond to this. Now looks like Burnett along with Sandy Smith and Holliman are not responding to the attack here by Sawyer. It looks like Downing maybe feeling his legs a little bit here, so we are going to just run our way up to Sawyer, because Sawyer's put another kick in here. I've just seen the red numbers kick in. That means he's over 8 watts per kilo on his profile, so looking good at the moment for Sawyer. He's gone for a long one. This is a brave move. This is the sort of attack we want to see when the go is in, when the hoy is in. And look at this. This is a man who is taking it out in style, and Mason Holliman now having to move up to the front to try and chase him down. We are on this long run in towards the underpass, and here it comes. You can see it in front of him. Sawyer is working well here. Can he keep them off? We are going to see if he's able to hold them off. Behind him, you can see the yellow beacon is behind, the red is behind, but look at this. The pace is on, and Sawyer is working really hard to keep them away. So Sawyer, it is 56 kph on the way down. We're now on to the climb. They're going to come in behind him. That pack chasing hard, and I think you're going to see Russ Downing now as we come into the climb, trying to chase Sawyer down. He is fracturing behind. That group are certainly starting to feel the pressure. You can see it is fracturing, but look at this at Sawyer still with 5 seconds. Hendricks trying to close it down. Radcliffe now coming on the front. It's at 5 seconds still. and that gap looks shorter because we are on one of the steeper sections. Watch it open up now. Joey Walker put it in a turn. He's up at 9 watts per kilo. He's trying to close Sawyer. Sawyer went for this, even if he doesn't make it, and to take the win. This is some ride by Sawyer at the moment. So it is Ollie Sawyer with the gap that is being closed down by Ryan Williams. Williams now heading into those 9 watts per kilo, and here comes Williams. Williams is the rider who drove up to them. Dryberg takes over the lead at the front, and Sawyer, all that hard work, well, it's fractured the group. It's lost 1 or 2 wheels, but it's not going to leave him in with a good place. You can only do that so many times before your legs go pop. As we come over the top, we're riding in with Ryan Williams in the blue. He's the man who did the chasing down, but he could be caught out here if a group goes away. You can just see Mason Holliman in this front group. So is Joey Walker, so is Kieran Smith. There are some very fast men down in this front group. There's some young guns and some fast old guns as well. And look at this, Sawyer's gone back on the front. This man, can anybody knock him down and keep him down? He's back up again faster than a track rider, having a roll round on the black line. And look at this. It is so quick. Nobody can get away at this point. And we've just seen big attack coming in. Who's that attack come from? Let's get up in the air. We've got the attack. Has it gone anywhere? Our riders are just pushing this onwards. It is Hanny who's gone for it. So in with Hanny, we're coming in towards Trafalgar Square. This is the rundown. The road dips slightly right. It drops down ever such a slight gradient. It's -1%. This is Hanny with the gap. He's managed to open it on the run into the mall. The mall is slightly downhill on its way down through the line. At the moment, Sandy Smith sitting in third wheel. Sawyer leading this out, and it looks to me like Hanny is going to be chased down by Sawyer. Sawyer leading the gang behind. He's coming up some serious pace at the moment. Mason Holliman is sitting in the wheels as well. Who is going to take this? We're going to get up in the air. It's going to be really quick, and I don't think Holliman has it in his legs. Let's get down and see who's going to be leading this out as they come up to the line. Kieran Smith is kicking on at the moment. Who's it going to be? Let's get alongside. Oh, so fast on the way through. I think Joey Walker just taking that from Kieran Smith. Just take a look. No, it's Smith. So Kieran Smith, I think, just taking the lead on the way through. Really, really fast times from our leading group. Fantastic to see just how quick those guys go. We're going to drop back from our leading group to the chasing group. Russ just making his way in through the line and easing off the pressure as we are going to try and work out where our next groups are coming into the line. It's a little bit tricky. If you've watched them before, you will know that we have a little bit of a difficult task if we're not careful trying to get up to the groups in front, and that is quite simply because of the design of the course here. It flips back on itself. We're just riding in with Matt Winston, and Matt at the moment in that group looking good. I think I've just seen Joe Munden in with the group as well. So we're just going to take a little bit of a look down here. Matt Winston in this pack as they head in to the line. Ty Woofenden in the pack as well. And Ty rolling his way into the line, looking like that group are going to be sprinting the way in. Of course, we can't cover everybody on the way through today. We try to get everybody as much as we can on the run in to the line. Ty Woofenden chasing this group all the way to the line there. And then it's going to be our Johnson Wheelers being chased by a pack behind. We're going to try and jump across to them if that's possible. It's not always the easiest thing in the world to do on this course, quite simply because of the pace and the volume of riders we have who are making the way in and through. So just in with our next pack, and I think this could well contain Chris Hoy. I think he's likely to be somewhere up the road here. We're just taking a little look at the group. I think just sitting Outside of that group, that is some serious pace, and look at the number of PBs that are coming through from these riders behind. George Cooper going through in that group, Falting's going through, Smith going through, the riders coming through faster than we can keep up. But here the camera's trying to drop back into the groups as fast as possible. This is our next group heading in towards the line. I think Stone from Richardson Trek is going to take this out. Looks like Knight and Ambrose, Honeyman putting in a really fast pace in here. I think Ian Taylor's in this group as well, watching the faster riders head in towards the line here. It's really quick, and Sean Runner and Co all doing a very quick time. Looks like Overbeek come through the line, and as you can see, it is incredibly quick here on the Chain Gang tonight. Rider after rider hammering the way into the line. There's some serious pace on the guys, and I think that is Nick Ruckin going in and through. Then it's going to be Luke Stone going through. Looks like Rini going in under the line as well. Aslan on his way in to the lane. It looks like Cokin, Gregory, Peasy, Richards now kicking in for the line. Hughes, Holmes as well. All these riders absolutely motoring as they come in towards the line. I think Robinson a little bit further out from this group. And as you can see, our next bigger group on to the straight, they do have at least one rider just about to hit the line. Apologies if that's you. We can't follow absolutely everybody on the way through here. We're going to try and stay in. We'll jump in with Fiona Kestevan, one of our regular riders on the Chain Gang. Good to have Fiona in with us in the gang. And of course, this is the run for the line. It's 200 metres from that green trigger, and it looks to me like this is going to be another big push. All the riders are riding hard here. Good to see Nick Dorsey in this group, Scotland Crapper as well in as Neil, as they go through some more PBs. They come in and through the line as well. This is our next group that are coming in, and I suspect we are going to see another fast set of times coming in here. Just in with Emily Ashwood, who I think is going to be leading this group in through, and it looks like Lyson and Ashwood are going for it. Taylor goes through it, the youngster as well. Another set of PBs. So look at the number of records here. Everybody clearly inspired by the presence of Sir Chris Hoy, and we've got to say a massive thank you to Chris. Without him on board, I think today would have been very different for a number of riders, and Chris doing the business time and time again here on the Chain Gang. So just in with Kirkham here, who's chasing Bryce Smithy in towards the line. So Kirkham on the final run into the line, and then is going to be Mr. Samuel. Is Dick here heading in for the line. Good to see you on the gang, mate. I know we had a few issues with your tech on the way in, but it looks like it's all set up and running now. So this is going to be our next rider making his way into the line. Big groups come through. If you want to see yourself in action, don't forget, of course, you can always see yourself on the big hilly stages. If we do a hilly ride, the odds are that the groups will split and that we'll be able to cover absolutely everybody on the way in, and we do try and do that as much as possible here on the Donning Chain Gang, and regulars will know that is our usual way of covering the event. We try and cover every rider from first to last out on the Chain Gang, and plenty of our riders know they're going to get plenty of airtime if they are a little bit further back. Next rider into the line is going to be Dick Samuel. Sorry, Dick, just running out of fuel. Need to get on board with a little bit more in terms of OTE fuel, that is for sure. So looks like this is a really good group in here. Rob Carling in this group. Looks like Anthony Kerrigan in here. Now Kerrigan clearly favouring this course, riding well in the group. Lone rider Rob Carling. Tompkins in here as well. Beatty in the group, who's got the sprint left in the legs. Watch out for Carling. He's the man in the grey on the front. Rob Carling always can be relied on to sprint in for that finish. Is it going to be Carling's day in the grey? You can see they're winding it up. Ambler alongside. Carling up at 9.2 now, but it looks like Ambler's gone hard in the black. Carling going alongside, pushing in for the line. Rob Carling trying to get this. He's 100 metres to go. This time to fade, but Carling has got it in his legs. Ambler kicks again, and it's Carling and Ambler. Oh, Carling just get it from Ambler. Then Tompkins, Kerrigan, and a lone rider. Again, PB after PB after PB, and that is what we want to see here on the Donny Chain Gang. Next up this group is the group containing Richard Beatty in the group here. We've also got Darren Billings. Good to see Darren in. Darren, of course, a member of the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club. Home's in this group as well. And it looks to be like plenty of people haven't enjoyed themselves out. Darren Billings are usually in with the sprint, but looks like Beatty's going to get this. I don't think Darren's going to contest. This is at the moment on the run for the line. Clearly been working hard on the way in. And it is going to be Beatty who's going to get this. So Beatty comes across the line, being chased by Billings. Then Holmes coming in with Mason just behind. Just taking a look, looks like Dickinson. Then it is going to be James, who have just come through the line. They've been chased to the line by Kai Hurst. Hurst from the East Devon CC sat in here, putting a good ride in today, and going to be our next rider coming through the line in the way into the finish. So what we're going to do, we're going to see Kai come in across the line, and then I think what we're going to try and do, we're going to try and jump across and see how Russ is doing. So we're going to watch Kai come through. We've got a little bit of gap after that. That's going to hopefully fit in well with the timing, as underneath the gantry goes Kai Hurst. Russ, how are you doing, mate? Are your legs in one piece?
I'm sat in a dark room just on my bike, just thinking, what the heck has happened? But no, jokes aside, that was, it was unreal. Everyone behaved like, probably one of the best ones we've had for a while. I think Chris Hoy calmed everyone down. So cheers there, Chris, and then I sort of called hoi 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 hoi, and tried to fix it with the fast man at the end, and I was all in there, and those boys just flew away like so. It was great. Icing on the cake, like you said, for all the hard work. And who do we get next? That's the big question.
Well, we better decide where we're going to go next week. We haven't decided that bit yet. I don't think. I know you've got some great ideas, and I'm looking forward to go out and ride them. And don't forget, of course, make sure you follow Russ on the Instagram. Russ, where can we find you on Instagram?
I'm me on Instagram, Russ Downing on Twitter, Russ Downing on Strava. So that's that.
Way to get the inside track on where we might be heading. Don't forget, of course, you can follow me at Matt Fix the Pain on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Strava, on the ride as well, and of course on Zwift. And that's what a number of people are doing, I've noticed, Russ. We're just watching Mr. Hurst in. We're just going to call him through. Hurst here on his running in front of Martin Bolt, putting in a good ride here. And plenty of people like Martin who are experienced riders. They do make the ride happen, don't they, Russ?
Yeah, Martin was great from the start. We called him the Red Beacon because he just was falling into that spot every week. And then, like you can see now, he's 10, 15 spots on the bike now, and he's flying week on week out. So he's just got too good for the Red Beacon group, and shows what the DCG is doing. It's just improving people week by week.
Definitely. We're just watching Robert Bartlett come across line. He's one of the riders who's improved, and a member of the Donny Chain Gang Supporters Club, the DCG gang. And I'm really looking forward to being able to give away the jersey to our riders, because we are expecting to see one of our members of the gang getting that jersey from Ben Swift.
Yeah, he started racing today. It seems like ages since he's been prepping in the winter back home, and he finally got out of the country to go to France and started today. And he messaged me last night. He said, typical, isn't it? The stage of runs today was straight uphill out of the car park, and it was no chain gang, probably easy from the block. It was probably on, everyone keen being probably some of the first races for some of the pros, and poor Swifty and the rest of them, of course. But we're talking about Swifty's British Champs jersey here that he's kind of donated, and you have to be part of the member to win that. And Ben should be back next week to give us some more of the pictures and inside information on that, and we'll keep keep that coming back to you.
Definitely. Just watching Andres of the Stellaton, they've come in strength. The road captain putting in the sprint here. They did a great job on the red beacon as Andres leads home Inslee, Ellis and Dre. They're just in front, I think, of Miss Cookie and the red beacon group here. The Stellaton coming in en masse. And we've got to say a massive thank you to everybody who has taken up those duties in the Stellaton, taking it to the next level there, because they have got a huge group. It does contain our women's yellow beacon, that's Emma Payne, but all stitched together and held together by the red beacons, and that rotor works really well, doesn't it, Russ?
Yeah, it's the Gales designed that, and I'm sure those guys were definitely on the Stella there at like having fun, you know. See James Allen normally at the front mixing it, and he was back there with his teammates, just rallying the troops, and you know that's what the gang's about. They've got some of the slower riders around probably faster than they would have done if they just rode it on their own. So it's great. Like everyone, those people in now. We've got only an hour and 10 minutes on the clock, and those people are in. So that's pretty good going.
Yep, I think the Red Beacon group are pulling everybody in, and great to see. Just seeing Thompson from Glasgow, another of our newer riders on the chain gang coming now up onto the slope. Some great work done by Stellaton. So Russ, I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's joined us on the show. Our riders are now making the way around. You need a recovery drink, young man. You've got plenty of riding to do to get the routes for next week, and definitely looking forward to seeing that in action. So from myself and Matt Payne, from Russ Downing, a massive thank you to Sir Chris Hoy, and thank you for joining us on Chain Gang. Hopefully we'll see you again if you're feeling like joining us here live on the Donny Chain Gang.